everybody, this is going to be a poker coaching study session. We're going to study cash games. Right now, we're going to look at hijack versus the button and how to play out of position when called.
Yeah, good start, huh? So I'll take this one. I don't know what's showing the solution already, but we got hit. Check already. So yeah, uh we're always going to be in the hijack. We're always going to be defending an SRP, a flat from the button. Let's start now. So here we are, first hand. We're gonna do anything here. We have a high equity hand, not super high equity, obviously, because it's paired board, but I'm gonna check here. And
And remember to stay just a beat on the answer longer
okay,
so we can see
yeah,
the percentages and if needed. Okay.
got it. And here, notice we have a timer today. We've got 25 seconds. Here, I can check raise a call. I'm just gonna call this time. It just likes to call. So it likes to call pure. I would assume that's because it's a paired board and he's got lots of queens that he defends. He's got like all this area.
Yeah. And you're just so far ahead or so far behind right now. You're afraid of nothing. You don't care if another spade comes. There's no card that can hurt you.
True. And another queen is a good thing.
Yeah.
So calling. Double pair board gets interesting. I see no reason to lead on this card. Check.
Ever.
Look at that.
Ooh, more than
he bets half. Feels very fishy from the solver. It's kind of non-polarizing, probably because it's a double paired board, but we have no reason to raise, I don't think. No. Scotty made a good point where they're really really far ahead or far behind here.
And now it's even more true.
Yeah. I think this is ultimately a good card because he only has one combo of eights. And we're double blocking, which is important, I think. We're double blocking his most common flush draws.
See, I think it's a bad card.
Because let's talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Because I'm on a timer now.
Yeah.
So we can mix here. I don't really see the need. I don't really have much of a dunking range. You can see why it does it. So we're not folding to this size. And let's see. And this is pure call. Let's see if yeah, he's turning his under pair into a bluff, which is common with the solver. Why do you think the eight of hearts is a bad card?
So first of all, I think you played it perfectly. There's no way to make more money from this hand. If you bet
good point. Good point.
Because the hands that he bets on the flop are queens that kill you, ace 8, 8 7, 8 9 that you beat, a bunch of bluffs, spade draws, and and then a random pair like deuces, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of those that you beat, all of those, the 8 brings in some of those that you weren't beating. That's why. The 8 doesn't make any hand that you were losing to before and any worse. You said it's a good card, so it's like, no, because some of what he perceived as value have now turned into real value.
Okay, so the way I look at it is that an important combo from his top of range is less frequent.
Yep, that's true too.
So but we can research this. Let's do that real quick. So this isn't really good. This isn't really a good way to do it because us calling affects our range a lot. And that's why it moves. So this is not proving anything. But he's got equity advantage here on flop, a range equity advantage, and a serious, ridiculous nut advantage.
Yeah.
Now Maybe the more interesting thing to look at is his set frequency. Let's look at his set frequency. I think that's probably more interesting. So trips, he's got as a percentage of range, he has more. He's 3.5 combos. Then we get this turn. And now his trips would be quads. But let's just, it reduces his quads. It reduces the eights.
Quads,
and
but it increases his underfulls.
It increases his what?
Under houses, his full houses with an 8. 8, 8, 8, queen, queen. That's what the 8 does.
All right. Well, yeah, but we were already losing to that. So
No, we weren't. Oh, you're talking about on the river now.
yeah, no, I'm talking on the turn. We're already losing to
Right.
trip queens.
Right, but we're not, what we weren't losing to 8, 9, and now we are. That's what I meant.
Okay. Well, we know this shifts up. We know this is a dramatic shift in our direction.
Yeah.
When this 8 comes, we can see it here, right?
Okay.
That's why we have donks.
Okay. Then
And
I'm
we
wrong.
also, I think, to your point, maybe a more important thing to look at is the nut advantage. The nut advantage is with him. He's
Right.
got the very top of range, so we can see it here in the linear equity graph.
Larry,
Yes.
would we be able to look at the like the report of the like the flop turn breakdowns? Like we can have a look at what cards are good for us on the turn and what not. So by that we'd be able to classify whether 8 is a good card on the turn or not.
Unfortunately, we do not have that ability with my subscription.
We didn't spend it.
We would have to have a fancier subscription.
No, even with the starter one, we would be able to have that access.
What do you think? Let's give it a try.
Turn reports? Okay, well, let me
Yeah.
just finish my point here first, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so button has, you could see it in the linear equity graph. Button has this very nice, sexy, nut advantage here. And then when this 8 comes, we kind of now have jump ball. So I really honestly think that this 8 reduces his nutted equity.
Okay.
Now, you make a valid argument. I just don't know how often he has 8, 9, frankly. Let's see how often he gets here. Is this what? Normalized. He's got it some. I mean, he could have it.
Yeah.
But I do honestly think this is a good card for us.
Right.
All right. So we want to look at turn reports. I don't think we have them, but I will try. Yeah, we don't have turn reports.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Up next is Naveen. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and
So-
actually, Larry, let me put it a different way. Every turn card is good for us.
Okay.
A queen is good for us because if we were beat, we're still beat. A spade is not bad for us because we have a spade draw to beat the queen. There are no bad turn cards.
Okay. I see your point.
I just realized.
All right. So who's next, Dean? You said?
Naveen,
Naveen, you are next,
Yep.
sir.
Okay.
So you got a timer this time. So I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah. So this is a single raise spot, is that right?
That's correct.
From hijack we are raising. Okay. King queen. I think we are going really polar here, and also range bet is okay. So maybe we can go with a 125 bet size.
It doesn't break solve, but I think generally out of position, solver is going to
Oh yeah.
just play it. Solver's just gonna it just takes smaller size. And also
Okay.
one thing to think about here is that you are blocking his continues. It's hard for him to continue
Yeah. Okay.
because you're
Yeah.
blocking kings and queens, but you're not breaking solver.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the kind of hands you want to keep in. I'm just gonna,
Oh.
I don't know if he's gonna continue on this flop if you bet small, but let's just look.
I think he is. He's got a straight draw.
Yeah, so this is what, so this I think is an important concept. It took me a long time to to learn, frankly, and hopefully by
Yeah.
talking about it now helps people on the call to miss this part. When we've got so much equity, like what do you think here our equity is? If you had to guess, our equity with our combo.
With our combo, that would be quite high.
Yeah.
80 to 90, probably.
Yeah, it's probably 80 to 90 on a two-tone board. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we nailed it. So when we have 80 to 90% equity, we're really motivated to keep in a large part of his range.
Mhm.
We're drawing to be uber nuts with 4 cards, and we just really want to keep his range wide. We're not afraid of much, and we really want to keep him in the hand. Now, so the question becomes, he had ace jack, which he folded to the large side. However, the preferred size, I think, was like a B33.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, yeah, B33. Okay, so if we take a B33, let's see what happens with the ace jack specifically. So he now,
Calling or racing, right?
so he's calling or raising his ace jacks. You would love a raise here. That would be a dream. So,
Yeah.
the point I'm making is that when you've got the technical term is a shit ton of equity, you really do want to keep in a large part of his range.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I will move on with life now. Okay, so
And I have one comment to leave for your TED Talk,
sure.
which is too long, didn't read. But is another way to picture it in your head is you don't make money in no limit hold'em by protecting your hand. You make money in no limit hold'em by making people pay too much for their equity that they really have, and that causes you to lose more pots, but the pots you win are bigger. Because
I'm
you could
just running through his hand because I just took a different line with it. Sorry.
Yeah. That's fine, because you could choose to jam this and knock out every flush draw and every straight draw all the time and almost never lose the hand. But you would make less money than by risking losing the hand and letting straight draws and flush draws and pairs like that take another card.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a very good point. I mean, we all have PTSD after a while playing poker because getting drawn out on when we have a high equity hand like this just really stinks. But it's overprotecting our range is not the most profitable line usually.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And Scotty, like I saw you are recording this. So would you be able to send me a copy afterwards, or shall I record this?
It's no, you can. What I'll do is I'll post it on YouTube, and so you'll be able to just access it anytime.
Okay. Is there a YouTube link I could?
Yes, the YouTube link. I'll post the I'll post a link to the Discord, I guess. Can you see the pokercoaching.com Discord?
No, I'm not in the poker coaching Discord.
Okay.
Scotty, you could just post a link to your YouTube YouTube
Oh,
channel
yeah,
in
that's
chat.
right. Yeah, that's easy. They're all located here. I'll do that now. So you can see this one, Naveen, and you can see 24 previous ones. They're all on YouTube. And
Please comment. We only have one comment, or we need more.
Okay, so it's all in poker coaching. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it's my YouTube channel, and I'll post the link in a second.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Fantastic.
they're
Yeah.
going.
Jeez.
Okay. And next up, after Naveen, by the way, is Mike.
Ooh, alrighty, let's do it.
All right. Silence from me, uncharacteristically.
All right, this is going to be almost a range check board, purely range check. I'm imagining. So let's check. And I think we get to call this size. Maybe even some raising. Probably mixing some raising. Let's hit a call button.
Okay.
All right.
Nailed it.
Okay, yay, we improved. Do we get to donk? I feel like this could be a donkable card for us now that we've gotten here. Certain checking is going to be an okay play as well. So let's check. Okay, good. We get some donks. He checks behind. That's kind of a crappy card. So we definitely can't donk now. We are checking. Do we get to donk for like a little value donk? I don't think so. Check. Oh, it absolutely wants to value donk.
Do you think it would, we'll check after if we get the value dunk without a queen of diamonds.
Yeah. All right, let's see if he decides to take us to the test. He does not.
Um,
And what was the percentage, Mike? What was the percentage of
It was like 9%.
9%? Okay,
there it
that's,
is, Scotty.
you don't lose a point. That's just a zero.
Round up to 10 to give me a point.
It's something like 15 is gonna be the point.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay,
you-
so
So you're good.
here, hijack, ace queen off. Yeah, we don't care. We just like, we got a really, really good ace and you've got a lot of lesser aces.
And the Queen of Diamonds does give us the ability to make our donk size a bigger size.
That's a good point. But yeah, yeah. Okay,
And then
Um,
on the turn,
yeah.
we saw that we could donk once the ace comes on the turn. I'm curious what our kind of global, like we have ace queen, so it would be kind of natural and kind of easy to choose ace queen to bet on the turn. But what about our other hands? So it was a 16% global donking ability there. Is it diamonds? Is it
Well, let's filter for top pair first. Very kicker driven. We see this over and over again, right?
kicker driven? Yep.
Except down here with this, the draw to the
To the wheel.
to the wheel. Thank you. Very kicker driven essentially. So that's that player class. What other hand class do you want to look at?
So are we looking at like if you're holding the king, say king queen, and you have a king of diamonds?
That's a
We don't have any king queen off here, so we would have folded king queen off with a diamond
yeah.
to the flop bet. So
Hmm.
obviously our flushes are kind of docking here.
Yeah, so our new draw kind of donks. Let's filter for that hand class. Donking 25%.
Okay, and then
One
I
of the
noticed,
most interesting.
and then I
Notice
noticed.
we're not dunking with a pair.
Was that a donk size of 25% or a donk frequency of 25%?
It's a donk size of 20%, frequency of 27%.
Thank you.
And then I noticed some small pairs that are kind of getting down there into the gut shot, like pairing a gut shot, like sixes, fours.
What do I? It's it.
A set of
And we got to defend our dunking range, so our sets are dunking too. Let's look at the breakdown. Let's see if we see a nice little oval here. Not really. Kind of just all over the place. Doesn't really show us much.
Okay, cool.
All right. Anything else you guys want to see?
Somebody make sure that that link takes you to the right channel, that it works, because I can't do it because I'm me. And up next, that was Mike, is Leanne.
Hey, Leanne. Here we go.
Okay, and yes, that link takes you to your channel.
Thank you.
Leanne, you've got an interesting hand, and I'm going to shut up.
Okay, well, I'm checking.
Okay, just so you know, we're working with the timer today. We've got 25 seconds.
Oh, okay. Took me about 5, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good choice, 70%. Interesting turn. Pair plus one.
Interesting.
Pair plus combo draw.
Um. Hmm. Feel like I feel like checking again.
99%.
Okay. I feel like checking again.
Well played. Sure.
Why?
Okay.
But
Is
what
that
happened
good
in
for
the river?
bet?
Did you Punished? No, you get to win.
Okay.
Oh, you don't get to win.
Oh,
Boo.
bummer.
Ah,
If he bet, I was gonna have to decide what to do. I
Yeah.
guess it would depend how big his bet was, I guess.
Yep.
All right, who's next?
EI dash P is next, or ELD dash P. I think it's an EI dash P. IP. Or whatever your actual name is.
Quite a flop. 25 seconds, sir. Our man.
In chat, it said he left, so he might
Okay,
not.
I left. All right, so up next is, okay, that was Leanne. It's Corey. And if you don't want to turn your microphone on, Corey, you can also just type your answer in the chat.
What
1, 2, 3,
do I
4.
do now?
All right, Corey's getting the Corey's getting the next hand, it looks like.
Okay, I guess I have to run through this hand. We're gonna run through this
I'll
hand as a
do it. I'll
team.
do it. Oh, you hit it. You hit the button already.
No, we are
Oh.
on a timer, so that it checks
gee.
when it's timed out.
Oh, it timed out. Okay, yeah, just run through the hand and I'll take this one until Corey gets here. Corey, yell out if you feel like it.
Okay,
I'm
as a
kidding.
team, I think we're gonna bet big here.
I'm betting, yes.
It's, do we get an overbet? We do not. Broken.
Because he checked behind. He just doesn't have, he just has to fold everything. All right.
Okay, who's
Okay.
next?
So before you hit the next hand, let's let the participant acknowledge that they're ready to go.
Okay,
Idea. So Corey, we're still waiting on you. We don't have you yet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Corey, you can jump in on the next one. This is me.
all right, next hand to the alpha.
Oof.
Oh,
Oh
what a
my.
luck box.
This is a good hand. Obviously betting out can't be wrong, and we get to check also. I am going to, I'm gonna check top pair, top set here, and I'm gonna bet my middle and bottom set. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. I'm gonna check. There's a 60, sure. And betting is just fine. And the bet is small because I dominate the board. All right. And he calls.
Ooh,
Don't like it. Still gonna bet, but I'm not gonna bet big because the flush completed. So I'm gonna be betting 33 and 50. And again, because he doesn't have any queen, I'm gonna bet 33 this time, but it's 33 and 50. And the answer is mostly check, 24.5. That's still a point. Because I decide points. And he folds. All right.
I'm curious what we're betting here. This is it. I mean, what's our global bet percentage on this turn? We check a ton. We just check everything. We're gonna check.
Yeah.
Let's see if we're checking even the nuts here at some frequency. Where the other question I would have is,
I'm gonna expect that we bet all of our smaller flushes, right?
that's a good question. Okay, let's look at flushes first.
Yeah.
It's very linear.
No, we don't bet the smaller flushes.
I think probably maybe we bet like in this area a lot because we're unblocking his flushes that we're going to cooler.
Mm-hmm.
We're betting the pair plus draw a lot for some reason, which I don't really quite understand. But yeah, I think we bet a lot here. I thought we'd bet a little less here because we're blocking his flushes.
But we don't. We bet
But we're very conscious of the fact of these weaker flushes being potentially cooler opportunity.
Yeah.
So we're playing these more defensively. Let's just see if that translates to equity.
Well, take a look. I mean, we may not be defensive. Put in the check and see how many of them we check raise.
Okay. Well, we know they have less equity, right?
They have less equity, but
They have a lot of equity still, but they're not
Right.
97 and 99.
Mhm.
Strategy, check. Is that the wrong place? It's the wrong place. Whoops. No, I did do it the right place. Check. His most common bet size is a small bet. What is our check raise with the flush? Flush. Yeah, we just check all these lesser ones mostly. We don't really check raise our flushes that much. We do down
Okay, sure.
here.
Mhm.
But these very good, I think this goes back to the blocker principle here.
Mhm.
These are blocking all the flushes that he can call with.
Right,
These are not.
right. So there you go with your ace two and your ace four. They always check raise.
And then these are concerned about, like these 10 high and
being-
below flushes are concerned about getting cooler.
Okay,
Okay. So who's next?
Corey is next if he jumps in, and if it's not Corey, it is Dominic. Corey, 2, 3, 4. Dominic is up. Say something, Dominic, so we know you're alive.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, this is your hand. Hope you get trips. Hope you get a set. No.
All right. Well, I'm not sure actually here what to do. Like this board is, if I bet, I want to bet bigger. So like 75. I'm either checking or betting big, and I would in game I would bet 75 here. Oh, let's check. All right.
We're not breaking to solve though, so we can continue. Really just solver wants to play defensively out of position. That I mean, against your pool, that might be losing.
Yeah, I'm just
EV?
on micro stakes, and I kind of
Yeah.
have like, in theory, I have a backdoor, and this board is I think I'm supposed to bet bigger here, so I either check or bet, as I say, but solver just likes to check.
Yeah.
Your hand
I'm
is
just-
dead.
I don't think
call.
that. You might be right that I just don't, I mean, we do have a range advantage in the sense that we've got the overpairs. But
Like if
this
we
is-
check and he bets like 75, I don't think we can continue even, or if he
No.
bets small, then it's fine. But
so I think against your pool, you've got a range advantage, but in solver land, you don't, because solver's range is very condensed. We're playing 250 combos. We're RFIing 250 combos. He's flatting 50 combos. So he's got a very condensed range. And he's got a lot of jacks, I think, that he's protecting. That's some. He's got filter, top pair.
like I just feel like solver likes to check much more than people like.
Yep, solver
Yeah,
does a
in-
lot of checking out of position, and it makes it
Even
aggressive.
even if we are aggressive, yeah. Even if we're aggressive, it still likes to. Even if we are pre-flop aggressor, he still likes to check.
Yeah, out of
Yeah,
position.
I mean, it doesn't, I mean, it's kind of like to the solver, it's kind of like betting into the void, right? I mean, especially on kind of it thinks this as a jump ball texture.
But the other thing is that solver bets much less than population, but it check raises much more than population. So solver's
Yeah, that's right.
with bluffs and with value is to check raise.
So yeah, so we've been working on that a little bit in this group. Working on check raises because if we're gonna match solver, or if we're going to study solver and understand how it plays out of position, which is higher check than any of us are used to, then we need to couple that with having the proper frequency of check raises. Otherwise, we're just playing too passively.
And would you check on this, on the next step on this one, would you check against the 3 different sizes of bets, which we get to continue the ace 3? Because clearly we get to continue against small. I think we get to continue against half pot, and I think we have to fold to 75, but I want to see.
All right. So it's choose, so let's say P33.
Yeah, that one we can call, or maybe even raise. I don't know what it likes,
Yeah, so there's our check raise with the front door,
but just
and
fold.
we're just out with the back door, but this is where we
Alright.
get the check raises, right? Lots of check raises with our front door flush draws. And so we're out with this combo through the small bet. Oh,
So wait, ace three or ace deuce of spades, it would check as well? I didn't see.
yeah, it's definitely gonna check it's gonna, I mean, so it's gonna check it's gonna bet a little bit, but it's the solver,
also
it's gonna
check.
protect its checking
Alright,
range.
alright, okay.
I mean, let's look at the hand class. I think it's important to look at. It's checking 83% of the time. It's flush draws, combo draws. And you
I'm-
can see it here too. Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
I'm just saying, I'm shocked that we fold two back doors and an over with one of the back doors to the nuts and the other one close to the nuts to a small bet.
Now we're out of position, I guess it's
Yeah,
hard to get value even if we get there.
I
Let's
guess
look
so.
at the EV.
I guess so.
So the EV of our combo, it's close. It is very close. It's like here.
Yeah, but
It's-
okay.
Yeah, okay. Close.
Hold on, did I see that wrong? No, I saw that wrong. We check fold, we check fold this to a small bet. Okay,
Yes, we do.
right.
But we're still going here because you didn't break the solver. So you're
Right.
still in the game. Let's see if you generate the fold. You do.
Maybe we can do like, let's say I check just to see, like, you can put the check in instead of the bet. Just I
Okay.
wanna see how it goes.
That's fine.
And he folds a 10 queen of hearts. But we bet large, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like population overfolds there anyways.
So you're supposed to fold here.
Now that we know, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, if we didn't saw it, I would maybe go.
Yeah. Me too.
All right, let's move on. So who's next?
That was Dominic. After Dominic, it is Larry. Unless Corey, if Corey's here, jump in and yell something, Corey. But it is Larry.
So these ace high boards would check a lot. I'd like to. Well, I think we should consider splitting this into two sections. This first section here, work with any combo or any board texture, and then next work with king high board textures so that we can understand how different those are.
Okay.
I'm gonna check here. So I don't think this is good enough to check raise. I think we just call, especially this large size. It used to be 75.
Oh, yeah.
We get donks here. I don't usually play a donk. And but I don't know if we get donks when we'll get donks. We're gonna have donks across the entire range. I'm not gonna, well, I'll play a donk because I never play it in game. Mostly donk.
Nice pick.
Look at that, we're donking range. We can see it here, guys. You can see the globals here. Donking 80% of the time on this card across the entire range. That is a 50% raise, they call that. I don't know why they call it 50% raise, but we don't fold top pair yet. Maybe, do we fold top pair? I don't think we do. We do.
You do. You have no kicker.
Check.
So did you donk on the flop for like 20 B20 or
It was a turn and,
on the turn? Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
and it was B20, yes.
Yeah,
He
okay.
checks back and we just don't call with our aces here, I guess, a lot, so it just doesn't think it gets value when we call. But yeah, so I played that poorly. Who's next?
Except with you picked up your mistake that you made on the turn, you got back with your easy check on the river.
Oh, I see your point. Okay.
So congratulations. Next after Larry is Naveen.
All right, Naveen.
So,
Yep.
Larry, were
Um,
you donking on the turn because it paired that 10? Like, would you do the same if it paired a 4?
No, not as much.
Yeah,
We just
probably
have
not.
s-
'Cause
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say probably not the four as much because the hijack's not gonna have hardly any fours, whereas they're gonna be probably littered with a lot of tens when they check and call a flop
Right.
bet.
Right.
So
Okay.
this is like, so this is this is a equity shifting card, right? So here, if we look at range versus range, we have so many tens that we call. So this is a jump ball. And then this 10 comes. And it's a super dramatic shift to out of positions, range equity. And because of that, solver's like, all right, I get donks. So the theory of donks is that that card is so good for out of position. In position should check a very large part of his range. However, we don't want to allow that because trips are such a big part of our range, which we can confirm. If we filter for trips. So yeah, so we've got 14% of our range is trips now. And only 3% of his range is trips in position. So this is a dramatically equity shifting card. And because it shifts equity to us, that affects how we play our whole range in Solverland.
And
Now,
then
your other
when you're done with this, Larry, if you're still going on, let's look at Leanne's question. Change that 10 to a 4 and see if it's any different, which I
Sure.
expect it to be different.
Yeah, we don't expect it to because we just don't have many fours.
And then while you're looking at that, you said the phrase, you said in Solverland. Do we have any reason to believe that in, against population, that this is not a good line? This turn donk? 'Cause I think it is a good line.
Uh, I think it's very player dependent. I mean, I will implement this sometimes and then people freak out. If they freak out, that's really good if you have a 10, but if you don't have a 10, it sucks. But yeah, I mean, my experience with using this, I don't do it often, but my
Mhm.
experience with dunking on an equity shifting card like this 10, which isn't a perfect example, is that it's a polarizing play to population.
Yeah.
Population overfolds or they raise a lot. I mean, people are playing emotionally, right? And they're playing, and they're not thinking strategically, they're thinking in a different headspace. So it's a polarizing play.
Yeah.
Especially when you use the properly adjusted size of the solver, right?
Mhm.
So the B20, when people are playing street, looks like a very small sizing for what you're repping.
Yeah.
So, have you guys had other experiences with donking on a repeat card?
Yeah, I kind of feel like population overfolds once you start kind of what's in air quotes representing, right? I think I feel like the weaker players tend to overfold once you start taking that line, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
mean, we should
for
test it.
Yeah, but for B20, I don't think the population is folding as much as the solver does. Can we see what the solver is folding to the B20 on the turn?
Sure. It's good. I mean, MDF is gonna be very small. It's probably gonna be about
And we saw that
20%.
four, we saw that paired four, we saw there was no donking whatsoever. So to answer Leanne's question, yeah, the four is a totally different pair than the 10.
He's overfolding. So let me just check my cheat sheet. So when we bet, well, cheat sheet is 25%. He's supposed to he's supposed to fold 20% of range. But he is not. He's supposed to fold maybe a little bit. It's 20%. So yeah. We'll just say he's supposed to fold 20%. MTF to B25 is 80%. This to B20, but he overfolds. This is a dramatic overfold in solver.
Yeah. What do you think about the population? Do they overfold or underfold?
I think it's a very polarizing play, and I have a very small sample size because I don't use it a lot. But I mean, if I was gonna use this, I would tend towards a check raise with, like a gut shot straight draw, a flush draw. And mostly that, gut shot, straight draw and flush draw and some trips, I guess. I would use a check raise more. But I don't have a big enough sample size. I think that Mike had a good point. Mike said, what did you say about it, Mike? About using this dunk?
Well, I was answering somebody's question about whether they or think that they overfold or underfold, and I kind of felt like they start overfolding. But then, like Naveen said, to a 20, I don't donk for 20 B20. Like if I do, it's usually like kind of a value size, like a B50 or a B30. So maybe that's where I'm getting, the overfolds. But yeah, again, it's just kind of a small sample, so it's just kind of hard to determine.
I mean, it's a fun,
Branch.
strat to implement. I personally think check raise is better. I think because again, the principle is this card is so good for our range. In position should check a tremendous amount of their range, but because this card is so good for us, we want to put money in the pot. So we dunk. However, I think population is oblivious to how much this shifts equity out of position, frankly. And for that reason, I think a check raise bluff is more effective than a dunk.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
I-
I think
I
versus
think that makes a
population,
lot of
I
sense.
think once you check and then population, like the weaker players, they do see checks as opportunities to bet. And they don't see that 10, that paired board. The good players see it and they'll check back, whereas the weaker players see your check as weak and want to start betting.
Yeah.
And the donk, again, like you mentioned earlier, Larry, when you donk, you're preventing the player from checking back.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the principle in solver, that we have so much more equity than in position now. They should, in theory, be checking back a tremendous part of our range, but we don't want them to do that because we've got so many trips in our range.
And I never do it because I don't know to do it. So I'm going to try to implement this and see how it works over the next few weeks.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's tough to know what to do on river, right? So let's just take this down this line. So we check, call, turn, bet, call. Okay, so now we've donked. And we're gonna give it a randomized river. Queen. So straight got there. So now we've taken this line and we're taking a very polarized strat. Where now 70% of the time we're going for it and we're B80 on this. And 60% of the time we're giving up essentially. Or check calling, depending on the combo.
And there's 10%, 150 as well.
Sure. And so this becomes, it's just a hard, I mean, when you begin to go down the donking tree, it becomes it becomes a different strategy because you're now learning about a donking strat. So notice
clear the-
when
clear
the
the
total
filter?
blank comes on river.
Can you clear the filter?
Yeah, sure. When a total blank comes on river, again, we're taking, we get more overbets. Overbets are our preferred size. But we're still doing a lot of give ups. It's a very complicated strat to implement. And it's fun because, okay, our 10s are gonna go for it here. These are all 10s. Ace king feels like it has, but then we get all these interesting bluffs down here. King queen that missed. King jack, all these gut shots that we also take with this line. Begin to bluff two. It's a complicated street. It's a complicated strat because you need to know ideally what to do on river. And you got options.
Well, my plan is to try to implement this week to get the turn part right and then to just absolutely murder the river. Just do the river completely wrong and see how that works.
Like do a Montreal Adamo and just redline it?
Probably, but certainly I'm gonna punt. We know that. We just don't, we don't know which direction, whether I'm going to punt or do an own goal, but I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, get it. Well, cool. Let us know how it goes. Bring back some hand histories for next Tuesday. That'd be
Alright.
good.
Sounds good.
All right. Who's next?
That was
me.
Naveen. That was Naveen who just went. So it's Mike.
No, I didn't go.
Oh,
It
who just
was,
went?
Larry.
Oh, that was Larry's hand. Okay. Oh, Larry, and I already scored Larry. Yep. Okay. So after Larry is me. No, after
No,
Larry's Naveen is next.
Dean,
Yes.
you're on.
We're doing the sword.
Yeah. Yeah. King Jack 8 weak. I think the range is having a little bit of B33, probably 20%. I think Queen Jack, but would like a check here. There's no point in betting this hand. Yeah, so check.
Well played. I would just think you're gonna get bets here more because it's king high board, but you're right. You have a marginal hand. This is fine. Well played, sir.
Thank you.
You like that check?
The turn brings another flush draw. So there's 2 flush draw. Maybe we could get a little bit value. But I still don't think we need to bet here. So I'm going for check again.
Well played.
I was wrong.
First time. First time for everything.
First time on this hand.
Are we going to get any value from weaker jack? I'm not sure whether weaker jack would have bet by now. And any 8 would they have bet? That's the question. Maybe a bet 31, B31.
There are no weaker jacks, but
Yeah.
perfect.
Getting value from 10s, 9s, and 7s here. 9s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah. Thank you.
Who's next?
Good hand, Naveen.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's see, Skate and Corey have come here, so let's get, Corey, if you're here and you want, the next hand is yours. You want it?
Hey, nah, I can't, man, because I'm moving around and I
Okay.
might lose service like I just did, so I don't want to start anything. If
Okay,
I get
that's-
stable, I'll chime in and say something to y'all, bro.
Okay, feel free to jump in when you do. Skate, you're up.
All right, let's do it.
Skate, may the poker gods be with you.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it after that perfect Naveen score. Pretty good. Okay, here. This hand is good enough to bet. The ace queen. Maybe some broadways. We're gonna bet standard. We could bet 33.50. We could check with mostly 33.
Lots of checking, but betting's fine.
Remind Skate, I don't think he knows about the timer.
Oh, we've got a timer, so you got 25 seconds for each action. So I'm keeping my mouth shut and just letting you go.
Awesome.
So what are you trying to say? So
No. I like the pressure of the timer.
okay, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so you're gonna be on a timer on turn. Which you see here in the circle. You're not, because he folded his under pair.
Wow.
Okay.
After Skate, it is, I believe, Mike. It is Mike.
Hey, just real quick, Larry, what happens when the timer expires? What happens?
I think you check.
It like just auto checks or?
No, it doesn't. It just ends actually it just ends the trainer and it shows you what you should have done. And then you can repeat hand.
Gotcha. Let's do it.
All right.
Give me an easy one. Oh, kind of an easy one, I think.
Dream
Little luck
spot.
box. This is probably going to be check range. So I'm pretty certain you just check everything here. Check.
Are you cooking up see what you're cooking up here, Mike?
Oh, do we get to check raise and how big? Yeah, this, I think we can check raise, but I don't know if we want to go super big. So let's check raise. Let's go check raise 100, B100. That might be too big. It might not like it. God darn it.
Well, I think this is what you use against solver. I think that oftentimes actually there's a sizing tell here. When someone has a set, they usually choose the size that humans do. But
Yeah.
you did not break solver.
I'm surprised about that check call. I probably would have check raised 50%.
Me too.
Yeah, I was leaning on call too. Because
We
we
just
get
have
to do that. We get to take this line versus solver a lot, but
I think having the spade blocker
Yeah.
here makes us check a call, whereas if we didn't have 8 of spade in our hand, we would have raised it.
I
Okay.
agree with Naveen on that. Let's see
Right.
if right.
I was curious for the same thing. Oops. Go away. This is where solver says, your heuristic makes sense, but I don't care. So it's like the one combo that is unblocking.
Yeah.
Let's see if they have,
But spade, it's spade, it does it with spade club. Oh, no, it's true.
yeah, the
No, it's
spade
the
wants
opposite.
us
It's the
to
opposite.
raise
It's
more
the
often.
opposite.
Yeah,
We
it's
raised-
the opposite.
Yeah, I was totally with you on that.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right?
That's sweet. Yeah.
But solver, I mean, sometimes solver is gonna surprise us. What about, are eights the opposite? No, eights follow the same heuristic.
Bizarre.
Yeah, solver's hard to explain sometimes. Okay, so you're still in this game, Mike.
Okay, baby.
Good luck.
They're probably gonna fold. Ooh,
Yes.
we got a call. Okay. Now, since they call, they have a strong range here, and that 5, 6, 7 gets there. But we still have to bet, and since we went so big, do we get to kind of stay polarized? B50 can't be bad, can it? 50 or 75, I think, are your options. Hit 50.
Yeah, I was thinking
75.
when it takes this polarized line, it likes to take the B75 a lot.
Yeah, it's going, we're trying to get stacks.
When it, like when you check raise, it likes the B75 a lot. And this is a situation where, yeah, it's gonna use it. But we did not break solver.
Oh boy, it's starting to get dicey. Oh, we got the warning.
You got you're in
I
La
mean,
La Land warning.
thank goodness the board pairs, because you start thinking that set of eights may not be great, the equity may not be great, but now we're just jamming. Get it in, baby.
Yeah. What?
Oh,
Look
it
at
only.
That is a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah, I guess what's gonna call, right? I guess you don't have much that can call it.
Oh, it was sticking around with its open ender. It usually doesn't stick around with an open ender to that sizing. What is going on? This must be low frequency line here for the solver. So we're gonna go to the flop. Bet 33, big raise, button. I think it's low frequency. No, I am wrong. 2 overs is enough to.
Yeah,
Call
2
it.
overs and no backdoor.
2 overs and no backdoor. Yeah. And with its 55% equity with its combo draw, it's like, let's play for stacks. I'm surprised. So you bet call here. Oh, and then it's good that you use the B75. I bet it folds, you said. It's good to use the B50. Because it folds to the, I would guess it folds to the B75. It is sticking up here to that size. And
Yeah,
finally, it gets to
175.
be a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But not with the combo though. Okay,
And did he have the combo or did he just have, no, he had the diamonds. Okay.
yeah. No. So you actually got max value. Um. Who is next?
All right. After Mike, it is Leanne. No,
Le-
I'm wrong. After Mike, it is Leanne. I'm right. Looked at the wrong list.
Leanne, you ready?
Okay. I'm gonna check.
Well played.
I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna bet 50. Nope, it wanted, oh my goodness, it wanted a huge bet.
Oh my
Yeah, this is
God.
fine. I mean, we're not finding these, and it's hard to find this on this texture. Especially when he checks. This is the play I would make. I would make a B75 or B50.
Yeah.
Now
Hey,
he's gonna put you in hell. He's like, I'm trapping sevens.
Yeah, but he could also have something like ace queen or something.
Yep.
Got it on a timer.
I'm gonna call, sorry.
Never folding an overpair. Well played.
Some raising. Screw that.
Yeah, no. I would not raise against any. Well, that's quite a card.
That
What would
is.
you like?
Okay, well,
I'm sorry, I thought you said check. My apologies.
oh, I wasn't checking, but I like it now because it sees it's the best thing. I was gonna bet.
Sorry, Leanne. I thought I heard check.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's just hard to get value. Ah, look at that.
I could
How
have
good
got
is
value.
solver?
Yeah.
How often does it pure check this back? What
I'm
does it
really
need to value
surprised. He
that?
must have thought maybe I could have king, queen or something.
Let's look at this two pair. Let's look at hand class.
Ace 10, ace 10 and 10-9 came in. And just,
Ace 10. It's a doogie board. Let's see. So let's look at his two pair class.
Just didn't seem like I would make that donk with ace 10, but is that maybe I would?
It just doesn't. When this completes equity, like you must play your 9-10 this way. It's just not. Let's just see where this, the one thing I like to do here is, okay, so we know two pair aren't good enough to bet. And he had the queen jack, right? He had two pair. She really doesn't have very often. There it is, queen jack. I wasn't seeing it. Okay, so let's see if this works. Sometimes it doesn't. So it does. So the queen jack is in this part of his range, looking at the city graph. If anybody doesn't know how the city graph shows or what it shows, just let me know and I'll go over a quick explanation. But I don't think people use this enough. I think it's a really effective tool. But because now we're being able to see our range and where this falls in our equity buckets, and we can see this falls for imposition. This falls just below where he wants to value bet. His perceived equity with queen jack is 77%, but on this texture, that's just not good enough for him to open up the betting again.
what's the next hand up?
And the next hand up is a set.
The set. Right.
So we can see it down here too. I really like this because we can see hand classes. Two pair, he just doesn't see it except for his very best two pair, which he
I gotta
sees
go real quick for about 5 minutes and take a phone call.
Okay.
Okay.
We can see that queen, king, queen is good enough, right?
Yeah.
And also maybe king, queen is good enough because it's blocking kings, which out of position plays this way a lot. But you really need to have a set to value bet on this texture.
Yeah.
So I really like the breakdown tab because I really like to see this visualization of what our range is doing.
Yeah.
So, all right, who's next?
Matt is polarized. After Leanne, it is me.
Okay.
All right.
Also, one idea for you guys. So we've been looking at any board here. We could switch to king high boards and see the difference. Because all of a sudden, when we get king high boards, we get bets in theory.
So let's switch after Dominic.
Okay, that's
Wasn't
fine.
Gone for, everybody would have gone too, except for Skate, who's being punished for sleeping in. Okay,
All right,
Yes. Yes.
all right. Interesting board.
check. All right, now, in game, I am betting here. In solver, am I still checking? Oh, against the solver, I'm still checking because the solver checks back some aces. So in game, I'm betting, and solver, I'm checking, check.
Well
Good.
done, sir.
Happy with that. Now screw all this checking.
Got good
I'm-
blockers.
I'm going to bet now, and I'm gonna bet blocker size. All right, that's a zero. I'm good with that. 18% is a zero.
He's like, no, I don't care about the pot odds. I'm not calling.
Yep.
All right, who's next?
Couldn't you get a point, Scotty, for 18%?
Uh,
I thought 15 was this threshold.
was it? Okay, I'll give myself half a point.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, 15, I think it was. Yeah, because that's right. We did discuss that on yours. I'm giving myself a whole point.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Go. All right.
Did he call those nines, by the way?
No, he folded him,
Oh, okay.
and he wasn't gonna turn him into a bluff either. So that was that hand. I don't even think he calls the turn. If you bet the turn, blocker size. Maybe. All right, Dominic is next.
Dominic, are you ready, sir?
I bet he calls the 9 if he has a 9 of spades.
Should we see?
Yeah, go quick.
I'm gonna guess it doesn't make much of a difference by the river. Well, no, I'm probably wrong.
Well, yeah, with the jack, yeah, the jack,
I-
it's third pair.
Yep, it does make a big difference.
It does. Okay.
There we go.
All right, I think Dominic is AWOL.
Okay. All right, then you can change. Then you can change to the king high boards. If
Okay.
Dominic can scream in a second.
All right, so,
So Fish Cakes is here. Fish Cakes gets one before we go over.
okay, fish cakes, good luck.
You could-
We're
tell
on
tell Fish Cakes the new parameters.
We're on so this is an SRP. We're playing out of position. Hijack versus button. And we've added a timer to the mix, so you have 25 seconds to make a decision,
Oh, okay.
which strategically keeps me quiet.
Let's go. Okay. Let's start with check. You could probably bet this sometimes, but let's check. Checks back. Let's go 50%. Nice and quick.
I think it's still a check. But there's gotta be some betting, sure.
Oh, it's not much actually. Well, I
It's
thought
not-
we could bet after they check back.
You still in the game, we did not break solver.
All right.
Okay, so so what we've seen here, so the reason they're switching king high boards is just to drill home to me and to anybody else, is that king high boards are a little bit of an exception to what we've been seeing, right? We've been seeing a lot of checking. But go to hell, GTO wizard, but when we go to king high boards, which I think I saved here, 10, ending after. Drill. Modes.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna say something. So Fish Cakes, on your turn bet, I think against population is pretty good. Because I think that they bet off all their king. They just don't protect their check back range with their bad kings. So your bet's good, but in solver land and theory, what you really have there is you're still marginally made with a draw, but the marginally made overcomes the drawness of it. And it doesn't promote second pair to premium on the turn after check, check.
Oh
Like-
yeah, I don't think it's premium. I just wanted to like yeah, I guess it's too strong to turn to a bust still, basically. It's the reason. But
I mean, it's premium in it's premium in the language of if you classify things as premium marginally made draw and junk, and you bet your premium in your draw, you bet it. And so
yeah.
I mean, you know, what it was I mean, you could bet it if you had only one queen as a draw, as a pure draw.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Right. And so it's just the other queen just makes it, you can get there the other way. But I
Mhm.
still think against population's totally reasonable.
More than anything, I was surprised just how much the overall strategy was checking actually, because
Yeah.
that was the big surprise. I thought there'd be more, but yeah,
So,
apparently not.
so guys, now we're gonna go to. So we've all kind of looked at how solver is checking a lot, even on boards we don't expect it to check. Now let's go to the opposite. So we're gonna give a texture where if you were to look at an ag report, we would be betting the most. So this is gonna be a rainbow board, disconnected, king high flop.
Oh, boy.
This is gonna give us an opportunity to bet out of position, which we haven't been doing, and hopefully kind of allow us to understand in solver which textures we're allowed to bet. So, I'll take the first one here just to get it started. So that we don't, like, why would we bet this? We've got a marginal hand. Well, I think we are gonna bet this sometimes, and I think we might even get this size, which we do 4% of the time, but we're mostly betting small.
Yeah.
Calls, now we're gonna slow down because I
That's
don't
where
think we get
we-
to turn this into a bluff now, do we? This is gonna be tough. I think we check.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially after we take that larger sizing. Now we're just hoping to get to showdown and beat sevens. Uh-oh, beat sixes. B50's it. Fold. Call. This is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Nice answer.
Oh, wow, flatted ace king on the button.
I know.
I wonder if it's because the
Wow.
reason that we donk more on the king highs like that is because the caller has a lot of aces, like suited aces, but not so many kings in their hand.
Yeah, we can look at that. That's exactly what it is. We have a king advantage if in what our solver range is. So we can look at that
But
here.
Naveen, if you stay up for 30 more seconds, it's your turn, then you can go to bed.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
So
That's
So-
30.
so this is just with our range. I just happen to have a hand that checks a lot. We're checking just 22%. And why is that? Which is the opposite of what we've been seeing for the last hour and a half. Well, the reason is on a texture like this, we have an equity advantage, but I think most importantly, we're gonna have more top pairs. And we have dramatic top pair advantage. We've got 21% of our range is top pair, whereas he's got half that. He just doesn't defend as many kings as we RFI. So that's gonna lead in solver land to us betting at a very high frequency on these textures with no draw
So
rainbow.
is that gonna be, can we see, is that like any king highs or does it tend to be like king small, small?
Um, it's, we're looking at rainbow disconnected, so we're gonna have more bets here. If we change this to, let's say, 10, 9, ten, king, 9, 10, yeah,
It's gonna,
we're
it's
gonna
gonna
have,
go way down.
yeah, it's gonna go way down. We're checking half the time. Now we're checking half the time. We still have an equity advantage, but we're checking a lot more.
and the flush draw nature, so the locked up equity, the flush draw, everything. Okay, Naveen, you're up, you're up for your final hand before bed.
Okay, good luck to me. King 2. In position, I would range bet this, but out of position, ace 10. We have good showdown value, so check. No,
Don't know if you're betting,
I'll split.
Get your
split
point.
multiple
Yep.
sizes.
but you get a point.
I don't think we can fold yet. So I'm calling this. Just one sec. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about racing, but I don't think race is a. With 9, I think it doesn't change anything. So we check. Okay. Second barrel, half pot. Against this size, I'm folding, I think.
I have faith in you. I've already given you your score for folding. Or you just said you were gonna do it.
Bastard.
I hate him so much. Nice
All
hand.
right.
All right, good night.
All right. Good night.
Yeah, thanks for
See
coming,
you all.
Naveen. We'll see you next
Yeah.
Monday. Come and join us.
Yeah. See you next week. Okay. Bye.
Gate is up.
Skate. Do not die.
Already. Okay. Interesting. Check.
Sometimes, but
What?
it's the texture. The texture just allows us to bet a lot. Right? I mean, this is what we're working on here is that these king boards, we're just gonna bet a lot. And because you're allowed betting with your range, you're gonna get betting with the top of range, right? You're betting 85% of the time on this board.
Yeah.
And because of that, you now are allowed bets with the very top of range.
The insane thing is when you have pocket kings and he has nothing, he has nothing he can call with, you can still bet.
Yeah, I mean, we were the pre-flop aggressor. I
Yeah,
should have thought about it, a few seconds more, but oh
Yep.
well.
but
Mm.
you didn't lose a point because 8% is not a mistake.
So,
But it's not enough to get a point.
really what we're working on is the exception to the rule of checking a lot here. And that's gonna be a lot of king high boards. And on king high boards, we're gonna get a lot of bets. These are king high boards, rainbow disconnected, where we're gonna get a lot of bets. So we're practicing betting now.
Yeah.
We're practicing betting on textures where we are allowed to bet a lot.
And then
Okay.
seeing how we
Okay.
have to navigate after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So check. What would you like to do,
All right, let's
sir?
start getting some value that we didn't get on the flop. So might be too much, but 50. Yeah, I was gonna say 50. Let's go with 50. Let's go with 50. Yeah,
Right.
50, I guess. Yeah. No?
Once it
Yeah.
checks this trapping line, just wants to continue.
But you didn't lose a point.
Yeah, just want to get some value there.
Who's next?
Oh, if only we had waited. Although, I would think that they would call the ace high sometimes.
On the double
Yeah,
paired board, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why, yeah.
Yeah, maybe 33. Do they, just take a look. Does he call the 33?
They probably have too many diamonds, like enough diamonds that they don't need to venture down into ace highs.
It's
I see
weird
your
though,
point.
because you're, all your value are full houses. So they're,
Oh yeah, I guess, but
all right.
So the
Steve,
first question is, okay, this size. Ace high. You bet 50. He mixes.
Yeah.
He's mixing he does call some.
Against 33.
Pretty similar.
Yeah.
Calls more.
Okay.
Kicker's still important, which is weird, right? Why does the kicker matter? I don't understand why the kicker matters.
Blocker is probably.
Yeah, just blockers. Yeah, you're right.
All
Okay.
right, Mike.
Okay.
Mike, are you ready, sir?
I am ready. I am ready to butcher a hand. Here we go. Butcher away. Oh, I don't get an easy one. Well, this. Gosh, we saw the amount of betting on this King 9 X board. Do we still? Yeah, I think we still bet B33.
Nailed it.
Does mix a lot of options there. Yeah, okay, you big bonehead. God. You went with the big size too. I think, is that the B100? I think it is.
Yeah, it is. See him up here.
I mean, we're indifferent, so I'm sure folding isn't bad, although I don't know if we get to yet. With the back doors to the big size, I think we can fold. I'm folding. I have population I'm folding, so let's fold.
My guess is that you don't fold with the back door.
No, you're right.
Back
Yeah,
doors.
you gotta
Got two
call.
back doors. Yeah.
So let's see if you fold without the back door.
Oh, yeah. You're not calling this without diamonds.
Or hearts.
Diamonds or spades.
10-9
So-
suited, right?
Yep.
It's indifferent with the clubs, but it still calls some.
I was expecting it to see and be indifferent with our hand too, but no, it's pure. Just you gotta go.
All right. So, change the move if you can. Maybe but change the move. No more points to win or lose.
Are we meant to be on NL 500 ranges, by the way?
Yeah, because they have more flats. And so,
That's a good idea.
I mean, if it's NL 50 range, their flats just become even more condensed, which
Yeah, you're
gets
right.
even farther away from what population is doing. So I wanted to use NL 500 because I wanted to give them more flats, which is still less than what population is flatting, but at least it's more similar.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so we want to change this and continue.
Yeah, change it to call.
Well, we're checking. What a donk. Just weird. Okay.
You're checking.
Fold.
Yeah.
God, look at
Different.
it. I'm certainly not used to
This is-
calling there.
No.
It just must take so many bluffs on this line that solver, after playing this hand a bazillion times, knows that he's bluff heavy in this line. So
This is not the real world.
yeah, this is not the real world.
Something to note there is if you are in the button shoes, all of your bluffs are going to print money because people are going to overfold so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the regs.
Yeah, exactly. You're just going to make so much money with your bluffs.
All right, who's next?
After Mike, it is Leanne if Leanne is back.
Oh, let
Yeah.
me ask you, Fish Cakes.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you.
Yeah,
So
but-
you're saying Button's line is more profitable against population because out of position will overfold.
On the flop, obviously the flop calling range is going to be different too. So the flop bluffs are probably going to get a lot more money, right?
Yeah.
But maybe after they call, their range is stronger now, and they do just continue like a normal way. But because then they won't have their 10-9, right? So
Yeah. Do you think then Button's in position raise is more profitable against population than solver?
yeah, it looks like it, right? If
think
we're
that's-
thinking of like folding combos like this, and I think most people were are going to do that with the second pair, then we're going to make so much money.
I think you're on something there.
Hey,
Leanne,
yo, if Leanne's not here, can I take her spot?
You can take this spot before Leanne, just to take it. Here's Corey.
Okay.
Leanne, you're next just because Corey's not usually able to do it. Go, Corey.
Now, these are single raised pots, and we're supposed to be trying to bet out of position, right?
You're playing out of position. You decide whether or not you're gonna bet.
Okay, on king high boards.
yes.
Heard. single raise pots. I'm
And we're on a
checking.
timer too, so.
Oh, dang, I forgot about that.
Right.
All
So
right,
we'll run
never
it again.
mind.
Just run it again.
Okay,
Or
I'm
actually
gonna,
change the,
But I
change the-
saw I saw which ones are the best ones. I would still go with check though, I guess.
okay, check.
okay.
You're on a
Not
timer,
bad.
no worries.
Alright.
Checks back.
Alright, let's see. Let's go bet 33.
I like it.
Something like what?
It wants to bluff, it just wants
Bet
to
more.
polarize.
And why do you want to be more polarized? Oh, he raises.
Why do you want to be more polarized there? Because I think on this texture, you're representing a check king. Let's see how much. See how much we check our kings. Oh, let's go here. Let's go to filter for trips. That's probably not it because you
want you to
rarely
bet all
check
those keys.
your trips here.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking I'm really just plain straight lace betting the 10. Because I
Was
can, you know
10
what I mean?
comes in. Now we're here.
Was the polarized size 75 or 125?
75.
75, thank you.
It seems like you would bet those kings because you'd get called by a lot of pairs.
Well, let's see if we can figure out. So we're betting, we're taking this size a lot with the top of our range, which are trips, which we did check back, which is rare. But we also get these very interesting middling cards, which are FDs and under pairs. But these turned flush draws are taking the size a lot.
So did we open or did we call?
In this,
No,
in this
no,
one,
it's not single raise pop. Okay, never mind.
you checked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you checked it. So we're taking a very aggressive line with our flush draws. With our draws a lot. These are all our draws. And we can see we all of a sudden we're mostly betting with our draws after it goes check, check.
And we're betting big.
Okay. We're betting big.
And we're
Gotcha,
betting
heard.
big. And I think we just have more kings and we know that I would guess this is driven by the fact that we have more kings. We know that. And we also, even though we check very little, he doesn't have many king. And also it's a paired board that's less for him to pair up with. So we take this very, very polarized line out of position with our draws, which we can see
Heard.
here.
And now to his raise here, have we made our decision whether we're folding or calling his raise?
We have not.
Okay.
Right.
We can
Dang
change
it.
our move.
I'm gonna call, I ain't gonna lie. Regardless of what they say. Oh, that's a blunder.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's
That's a
Some-
blunder.
The
sometimes,
size, right?
sometimes you're drawing dead to the king 10, and when the queen comes for your straight, he's got king queen, maybe.
But you chop the
It was
pot, so
chopping.
well played.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out all the things about how the solver thinks and looks at things. But I know me myself, if I'm in that situation, I'm calling right there.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna see one more card.
I think that you
'Cause I don't-
probably, I mean, you know how to play properly against your population and how they play.
Yeah.
And what the solver study teaches us is just what is essentially a baseline, like the
My man.
mechanics of solver poker.
Yeah.
And
Heard.
then I think we all adjust that to what our populations are doing, what we see the people we're playing against doing.
Heard.
All right, who is
Yeah.
next?
Leanne is up.
Leanne.
Okay. Is that my hand?
It is.
Yes.
Oh, it's the same hand that Corey had. I'm gonna go ahead and I like the fact that I've got those two clubs or spades, whatever those are, those black cards, but I'm gonna go ahead and check anyway.
Everything's fine. Let's see what's a small bet here.
Because I had those two spades there, I think, or clubs.
Okay, you're on a timer, but we noticed that it did polarize sometimes here.
It did. It did. All right, I may as well then. If we're gonna learn something, I'll go 75.
It's in there.
Damn, this time it wanted to check.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after
I think
taking,
Yeah, I think the 3 is not as,
or bet giant.
yeah.
Your 75 instinct was really good. It just
It
wanted,
was.
just wanted 125.
Let's just see really quickly where it's polarizing on turn.
I think on the other one that Corey had, the turn turned up two of the same suit.
Okay, here's the turn strat. Guys, I'm gonna step away for 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, our scores so far. It's gonna be very hard to catch up to Larry's opening check call.
Hey, Scotty, I think you were
Yeah,
being
close.
mean there. I don't think I got a 0 because I got more than 10%.
Oh, I thought it was 20, I thought it was 15% was our threshold.
Okay, whatever.
But you don't lose a point. Yeah, was that what we said, Mike? It was 15?
Yeah, 15, you said, yeah.
Yeah, that looked
Yep.
like the right kind of play though. The EV was like identical. The solver takes that line.
Yeah,
So
and
it
that's what I
must
mean.
be,
You're getting, actually, you're getting a half point for the turn, because even though it was 10%, only 10%, the 75 and the 125 together were way up, were 30%. And so, right motion.
Also,
Think
the other
ma-
time it was a 10, king 10, I think, or maybe the 10 came on the turn. And maybe that makes a difference. I don't know.
I think so, yeah, because you have more like ace 10 maybe that you would check, or 10
Yeah.
10.
Do you
Alright,
do you
guys.
think 10% is good enough to get a point for next ones, or we're gonna keep it at 15?
Yeah,
Do
I
you think it's
I mean, given that the points don't matter, we'll keep it right about 15%.
okay?
Except when we change something.
I mean, I think
True,
we
true.
could go down a rabbit hole, I think, in solver parlance, all those, as long as it isn't an inaccuracy, they're all correct choices, because like
Yeah.
Fishcakes pointed out, the EVs are the same basically.
Yeah,
Whether
the
you
solver
take
takes the
whether
line,
you
right?
take a 5% frequency move or a 95% frequency move, they're the same EV.
Maybe as long as you can justify it too.
Yeah.
You have to argue.
I do think there's a big difference here, actually, from the one that Corey had, because with the king 10, I could easily be bluffing out cards less than a 10, whereas king 7 3, it's hard. People with 6s and 8s are gonna maybe call me.
Yeah. That makes sense. So when we see a 95-5 strat,
That's funny about the Russian judges.
yeah. When we see a 95-5 strat, yeah, I guess if the EVs are close enough,
I mean, so if the solver is taking mixed actions, it's because the EVs are identical. Like if it does say like 0.01 difference, that's just because the solver's got like a rounding, like it's not been round to maximum accuracy. But the EVs will be the same. Otherwise, it would just pick like one decision if one is higher EV.
so when the solver is when they don't solve it all the way down, are the equities still being correct? Are the reported equities still correct? But
They might be off by like a hundredth of a big blind, but like you'll be as long as the solver itself is taking mixed action, you can essentially treat it as if like it's
Okay.
indifferent and the EVs are the same, unless it's like 1%, But then GTO Wizard would say inaccuracy.
Okay.
Like my one was inaccuracy, which means if you did solve it further, then that action would just disappear.
Right. So we're
So
gonna
it
we're gonna give a
calculates,
point
oh,
for
go ahead,
anything.
sorry, Scott.
I'm sorry. So yeah, so the new rule is we're gonna give a point for anything the solver calls green.
Yeah, any tick.
But no points for red and no points for yellow. That's what we're gonna do.
So, so it uses a metric called exploitability. And I mean, you could solve down to 0 exploitability, but there's like this incredibly steep diminishing returns that happens once you get below 0.3.
Yes, negative. Mike is right. Yes.
Once you get below 0.3 exploitability, and it's just not cost efficient to solve below that level. But if you were like doing your own solve, you could easily solve it down to 0.0001 if you wanted to. It just, once it gets below like 0.25 exploitability, it's just diminishing returns, and it really doesn't matter that much.
Okay. All right, we're on to me.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, give me a good hand. Make it easy. Oh, I guess this is technically easy. This is a check is not going to be wrong, but since it's a king high board, I can bet. How much do I want to bet? I've got it in time. If I time out, I'm hitting check once it goes there. I'm going to make the choice to bet this one this time B33. But I think there's gonna be a lot of checking. Oh, there we go. No checking.
Oh wow, look at the
Saved
size.
myself.
It has
Look over here.
overbets.
I mean, this is just these low pair
Yeah,
king high
yeah.
boards.
Yeah,
We just, the solver goes cray cray.
yeah. I guess I'm getting value. Yeah, I guess I'm getting value from things.
I mean,
Okay.
let me just,
I can't believe
Gotta
that
get a lot
overbets
of
there.
That's good. Okay. Does he fold?
because these threes just don't hit anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And you got these overpairs and you have more kings.
Yep.
Yeah,
Still
you don't
very
know what the ace
surprising.
is.
25% overbet out of position.
All right, what does he do? What does he do to my bet?
I was hoping to have the solve come up so I can prove my point, but it doesn't want to do that
Okay,
right now.
that's fine. So I bet. And
All right,
Bro,
we'll
bet.
forget my nerdy digression. Okay,
bet, and he raises
looks
me.
like they just slowed down in the no, it's my side. I'm getting lots of timeouts.
Yeah.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
So he called.
Called.
I think that he raises some of that, and so he's gonna call me with under pairs, so I'm gonna continue to bet. So I'm gonna bet, and I'm going to bet in 50 to 75. But I will have some checks, but I'm gonna bet. I'm betting the 50. No,
Yeah, you were getting close, man. I
I'm
mean, you had
close,
the right
but
thought here.
but I lose the point, but I'm happy with my narrative. Okay. And he,
It's interesting that 75 is such a good play and 50 is such a bad one.
yeah,
N-
what was the difference in EV?
Like
I don't care.
less than a tenth, like
Yeah.
very, very tiny.
Okay.
400ths.
Yeah,
I guess since you're so early opening, maybe the ace highs call less in Button's position.
Yes, well, no, he's got on ace high boards. You don't have a clear advantage, but on king high boards, you do have a clear advantage. He
Yeah.
defends enough suited aces so that you don't have a clear advantage.
right.
But
Okay.
king high boards, which we're working on, are this unique animal where we do have a clear advantage in Solverland.
Okay, so I think the thing to take away from the next one, because I think we've seen it a couple times, is when you're thinking about it between check and your bet, it's gonna be check bet 75 is gonna be more common than the 50. The 50 is just, it's not small enough to be a 33 and it's not big enough to be a 75. So,
Yeah, I mean, this is also part of the reason to go
Uses
over these hands.
yeah.
Because we're seeing what betting patterns it likes,
Yeah,
which are, important. I mean, that's the part I work on a lot is, well, I don't know what to do here. Like, what size do I use? But this gives me a little bit of a indication.
gotcha. Dominic is gone. Up next is Fish Cakes and then Adam. Welcome, Adam. Welcome back.
You have got the driest board on the planet Ace
Oh,
king.
wow. I didn't know I had a hand. Let's go. I think either 50, 33 or check, but let's go let's do the 50.
Beep, beep.
Got it
Perfect,
in.
nice.
Good choice.
Cool. Can we continue value betting? Probably. Not sure if the solver wants to overbet here or not, but probably not with King Jack. Let's go 75.
I like it.
Yeah, so solver, what I've noticed in these solver down bets a lot out of position here, once it gets a call.
Mhm.
You know, solver just plays a defensive game a lot, and when it's out of position, kind of betting into the void a little bit, it wants to down bet. This is a very common betting pattern for solver.
And if we'd bet small, I bet it sizes up.
That's
We're gonna
So
see
what
that.
does it
We're
decide
gonna
to do when it has like identical EV like it has here?
It
But the
rolls
bet
the
small-
dice.
Yeah, but the bet small is so much higher percentage than the bet big with identical E EV.
It is, so. Yeah, I mean, I think essentially what it's telling us, strategically, it's interchangeable.
I think
Um,
ultimately the frequency, the individual frequencies, despite the similar EV, it's just like ensuring that the entire strategy itself is balanced. Because I think if you did like node lock this to remove all of if the indifferent actions here, like make all of these lower kings do just bet 33 instead, then the overall EV of the strategy might decrease like a tiny amount, which obviously, even though it's a small amount, the solver wouldn't want that because then the button will be able to exploit it. But like it would be so minimal. But and I think it's just like ensuring it has like range coverage probably across like different runouts in like all of these different bet sizes too.
And also, I mean, he does have king queen, but you know, you've got a really good hand on a very safe run out.
Yeah.
You're not really motivated to fold out sixes, nines, and eights now.
Mhm.
So it will, I've not done a lot of these, but I have noticed that it does often down bet. Once it gets a call, especially if it uses a large size B50
Yeah,
on.
you can see the bigger bets with like a stronger value though, like king
That's
queen
valid.
and
Well, let's look.
ace king. It just looks like king jack is around that threshold where it starts to want to go smaller.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know, the common choice here is let's look at our top pair. Yeah, it's very kicker driven.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ace king.
look on, and on the suited one, it's super obvious.
yeah, for sure.
Would you
It
do
should
one? for
translate
one win?
directly into equity as well.
Larry, give us the 33 on the flop and see if we go up on the turn now.
Okay.
With the king jack, specifically with the king jack relative.
So like that's a 10-point drop in its presumed equity between ace king and king jack. That's
Yeah.
pretty dramatic in Solverland.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I assume it's kicker driven. So okay, so you want to give it the small bet, right?
Yeah.
On flop
Small bet on flop, and now let's see
and call.
what it likes from the turn. Yeah.
And the turn was
Two
the
of
two of
spades.
spades, right?
Yeah.
Let's change it to strat. Top pair, so we can just kind of focus in.
Now king jack bets. No, it's still small, right?
Even more frequently small.
Okay.
Might be because the overall range is weaker when like the value side
Yeah.
of our range is weaker when we were at 33, maybe.
So I was wrong. All right. You still have more points to try to get there. We haven't seen what he does.
All right, I will look away.
Okay, you got a B75 here. And you're in the game, sir.
Yep, you did it. I'll see what he does. He folds. All right.
So let's see what his combo is. Yeah, so he's not gonna call that with ace jack, but like if there's nines, tens, sixes, kind of want to keep those in.
All right. Adam,
I'm ready.
Just so you know, we are using a timer today. You're on a 25-second timer.
Okay, all right, and just so I have the setup, we are single raise pots, under the gun, open button calls.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're working on a specific texture. We're working on king high disconnected rainbow flops. Just
Okay,
so that we can understand the difference between these textures compared to what we worked with earlier, which was all kinds of flops, because these are the textures where we have the most C bets.
Yeah, okay.
All right, here we go.
I would check this combination, a lot. I wonder, I see Mike saying B33. I would be much more inclined, and with like the suited varieties, backdoor flush draw combos here.
I'm gonna check
for
because you're
sure.
out of time. So,
Okay, check me. Yep, check.
so, yeah, these textures are just gonna have a lot of batting in what we're seeing. King high disconnected rainbow. This is like, so I wanted to work on a exception to the rule where we're checking a lot out of position, and this is it. But
Yeah, I
you're still
wonder
in the game, you're doing this is fine.
That's fine.
Well, he checks behind. I take that as capping his range. I'm gonna start turning this hand to a bluff now. Let's go B75. I think we're gonna bet bigger after we check flop.
You get it. You found the bluff line.
Yep. Red line, red line. Uh-oh.
The 8 is not good, I think. 8 makes a lot of sense for them to check back flop, check turn. Now that said, that's not the only thing in their range here. And I'm never winning at showdown. So I think I still have to bet here, and I'm gonna bet B74.
I'm gonna,
Mike says check.
make an argument for 21 and it's wrong.
Good call on the 75.
Oh, nice.
21 is the hungry horse size, right?
Yeah, and here was my reason. Oh, no, it doesn't apply. I was gonna say, you need to get a flush draw to fold, and a flush draw will fold, a missed flush draw will fold if you just breathe on it. But then I realized that the only missed flush draw you need to get to fold is an ace high one, and you need to bet bigger to get an ace to fold, because you have
Mhm.
queen jack. So, yeah, nicely done. Does it work? No.
Ooh.
Oh,
I've
another
We're
flat.
seeing this a lot. Let's just confirm how often he flats ace king.
I think
off
it's
here.
like 10%, 12%, something like that.
Yeah, it
think
definitely
population
happened
is
more
almost-
in- Oh, go on.
No, I was gonna say population is like almost never flatting there on the button, right? But you were saying,
I don't, with
Well,
ace king off, I think
25%.
it's super player dependent.
Yeah.
right. But I mean, in general, I don't see many flatting with the ace king.
I think
Yeah,
any,
I mean, I don't think so the ranges that I studied, which were poacher coaching, they don't have flats here.
Yeah.
This
You s-
also might go away if we change it to NL50.
Yeah.
Just
I
gonna
think
look
so.
at that.
NL 500 is gonna have more flats here because it just doesn't, it's not as incentivized to take it down free.
NL 50, it goes down to like 5%.
Yeah. So that's why we're running an ace king, but I think you're gonna see this. I definitely think you're gonna see this in the wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I don't think that they slow play it as long as he did.
right,
Yeah.
I don't think, I think, yes, you do see a lot of guys that won't 3-bet ace king.
Yeah.
I ran into it actually just the other night. But I think the flop check back with ace king is, even on the dry texture, is uncommon.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. A nerdy digression here. Do you think he checks back more with the king of diamonds or with no diamonds? Yeah,
More with the king of diamonds.
More checking with the king of diamonds?
Yes,
I don't know.
because he
I don't know.
blocks,
On the
because he
flop?
blocks you from coming, it blocks.
Flop
you from
check,
coming-
so
No,
here,
on the turn. Only on the turn.
we bet on the turn.
Oh, okay.
We're looking at the check line that he
Oh, the
took.
check line? I don't think it matters.
Filter. Single diamond. Ace king. He's mixing, and then if we clear the filter, so he's checking half the time when he possesses a diamond, both the ace or the king of diamond.
Right, and then when he doesn't have a diamond. So now you.
It doesn't matter. It's not a deciding factor in his,
Okay,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
okay.
Okay, so he's next.
So we can do one of two things. We can loop back and start another round, or we can go to marked hands now.
I'll leave it up to you guys.
Let's go, because we're gonna do this again, because we're gonna continue this for another week. So let's do marked hands.
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
Should we
Mhm.
take a break or want to just power through?
I can power through. I'm gonna do a stop of the recording and start a marked hands recording. So, that was fun.